Okay, so the 12th track is My Human Gets Me Blues, and this is way back on schedule for things that I enjoy much more. It's got this kind of thing that the guitars, which kind of plinky plonk and just sort of could be annoying, really, but is actually really catchy. Once again, the lyrics shine here. I'm not actually too sure what the lyrics are about, but that's suppose who knows with his kind of stuff. But it's just very abstract, and it's just I think it's got great lyrics like I saw you baby dancing in your X-ray gingham dress. I knew you were underdressed because I saw you under your dress. The silly things like that. And he takes something out of Jesus, and I'm not actually sure what the lyrics are about. They're just very weird and enjoyable at the same time. So I give it about 9 out of 10. The dreaded Pina is next.
Oh God.
Um, it starts out with kind of a thing, which is actually probably the most entertaining aspect, which is Don Van Vliet and some other guy, I'm not too sure, rehearsing some of the bits on it and saying, that's right, the masculine snake, fast and bulbous. Also, wait, in teardrop. And it's just interesting. Then suddenly it starts, and it's got this guitar that's pretty catchy. Do, 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 and does that you get the voice that you heard originally, the woman kind of voice from Ella Guru, singing full throttle on here. Well, if you can call it singing, with probably the weirdest lyrics I've ever heard in my entire life. Now you're probably thinking, how the hell could it be weirder than anything on here? Well, believe you me, this is just really, it's quite disturbing. Smoke billowed up between her legs, made me vomit beautifully and crush a chandelier. Honestly, what apparently he was never doing any drugs. The funny thing is, apparently he never done any drugs when he was weird, and yet when he went mainstream with albums like maybe Clear Spot or Blue Jeans and Moonbeams and Unconditionally Guaranteed, apparently that was when he started doing drugs. So I don't know how that makes sense. Anyways,
Oh,
then you start getting these horrible like wah 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 noises as well, and it just gets really disturbing. You sort of feel
didn't you
unsettled.
make on your channel Fugo Fargo like a
Yeah, I made
video?
an
Yeah.
action video, but then I thought, for some reason my computer stopped playing in the left channel, so I couldn't hear the do 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 do, which was actually the best bit on it. So I was sort of not very fair. I was a bit biased. And
Yeah.
overall, I just thought it was not very good, anyways. But I'll give it about a 5. I mean, as I've said in my top 5 double albums, although there's so many songs and you'd think there'd be a filler really is the definition as a song that probably doesn't sound like there's been not much effort into it. And that's where I can actually say no. Even Tina, if it's not that good, you can tell a lot of effort has been in. So I'll give it about a 5.2. Well is the second like spoken word kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Um Again it's really good and just it's I'm not actually sure about it. Light floats down day with
Um,
a red raft of blood. Night blocks out the heavens like a big black shiny bug. Oh,
reminds me of the Doors, Horse Latitudes.
all right. Well, it would have actually been as good as the dust blows forward and the dust blows back. But he says well too many times. He says it about 12, probably 15 times overall, and it's only about 2 minutes long, so it gets a bit annoying. He just keeps saying well, well. But again, there's got loads of great lyrics. I froze in solid motion well. I heard the ocean swarm and body. I heard the beetle clicking well. This overall, it's pretty good, but I honestly wouldn't choose it. It's about a 6.2. Next to kicks back into probably my dad's favorite one when Big Jones sets up. And again, sort of like My Human Gets Me Blues. It should be annoying, but really you can't help but try and find it catchy. It's probably the most funniest one when Big Jones sets up. Her arms are too small, she's too fat to go out in the daylight, so she rolls around all night. You know something's happening or you wouldn't have come out like you did. He says stuff and just changes his vocals in just a very weird kind of way. But probably the worst bit on it is about 40 seconds in, even though it sounds really good. He does his horn thing, which is just pretty weird and kind of ruins it really. But like I say, once again, lyrics really do shine. She tied up her horse and galloped off into the moonbeams. She pulled up her blouse and compared her navel to the moon. And hoy hoy, is she a boy? Just really entertaining kind of stuff, and that's what I really like about Beefheart. You don't get these simple love songs or anything about simplicity. You always seem to find something new every time you come back to it.
Hmm.
The third side of the album is probably the most conventional kind of stuff. Fallen Ditch, so straight away with a simple kind of bluesy kind of feel. Fallen Ditch isn't going to get my bones. Not much to really talk about it, but really, I could probably talk about the introduction, which is as he likes to do. He likes to name people who he works for, and Rocket Morton says is talking about how he can fly, and they say, "What do you run on, Cap Rocket Morton?" And he says, "I run on beans," and then he says, "I run on laser beams," and you think it's just a little joke, but actually, because of the horrible conditions that everyone was in, they were actually only eating beans at the time every day just every day. So that's actually a bit of truth involved. The song itself, that really does add quite a lot into it. And there you are, it's about an 8.2 out of 10 for a song. Sugar and Spikes is definitely the easiest song to get into. Just like usually, you get loads of different things happening, but it's really nice and easy to get. Really catchy with Sugar and Spikes and everything nice and crazy. Just loads of really good bits. Excellent guitar that you can pick up easily. Just excellent drums. It's probably a 10 out of 10 once again. Simple sort of fool kind of thing. Those for 1 and 2 be 3. A hoo hoo behind man be. Why do you have to do this? You gotta let us be. All the answer God's God. They're alone. Um, it's probably the first half would be about a 9, but then the second half completely just goes into this sort of abstract sounding with once again these weird horns being played, and I'm not too sure about I can think about them. I've gotten used to them after about 10 listens now, but really even then I'm just thinking to myself, even though I'm enjoying this a bit more, why not just skip to the next song? But if it was just the first half, I'd be about a 9. But then it's kind of devoted itself down a bit to about a 7.8. Orange Claw Hub is the final spoken word kind of thing. I honestly think it's the Dust Blows 1 and the Dust Blows Back Part 2. Good points I can say straight away. That little clicky noise that makes to make it sound old is gone. But what we get here is an extremely quite long song. It's about 4 minutes long. And for just spoken word, that could be a bit boring to some people, unless you get really loose to yourself and lose yourself to his kind of, it's not really vocals, but just poetry, because that's what really it is. It's poetry. It's not really lyrics. And honestly, I really just enjoy. I was looking through iTunes and I found a live album called Elapse Heart, which is named after one of the second song off Dr. the Radar Station, and it's a live version that they've done in a little recording session with him and Frank Zappa. And Frank Zappa plays the guitar and he sings in a more a more melodic voice, and that's just a far better version. I really wish they kept that version, or at least had included a guitar, on it. But never mind, it's still about a 7, but probably up at like a 10 out of 10 for the so many different things that are going on in this kind of thing, like uh, lyrics wise. But it would have been nice if there was some instrumentation, but never mind. All right. Wildlife is the next song, and this was the second single. Yes, I know you're probably thinking how can there be singles off this album? But this and Pachuco Cadaver were singles off here. I wouldn't have chose Wildlife. I would have thought Pachuco Cadaver has that simple kind of rock thing, so I can understand it. But Wildlife, I really don't actually think so. It's pretty disturbing, Wildlife, along with My Wife, and Before They Take My Wife, Before They Take My Life, and it's just it's not actually one of my favorites. The guitar is pretty cool, but I honestly think he's quite simplistic in this kind of things, and I really would have liked him to stretch more than just the same sort of lyrics. and he does this little bluesy bit where he sings "Wildlife" and then he plays a little horn bit, and it's all right, but it's probably about a 7.4. She's Too Much for My Mirrors, definitely once again an easy kind of rocker song. And uh, once again, pretty funny lyrics. I remember my mother told me I ought to be choosy. That was back when I thought she was my friend, but now I find out she's a floozy. Um, it's catchy and one of the easiest songs to get into, but there's something that I wouldn't go over head over heels with, like I usually say, about an 8. The next song is an easy 10 out of 10 song, and I just got blown away, really. I was skipping through the songs because I was thinking I'll never get into this album, and I only ever heard the first few seconds on Hobo Chang Bar, and it sounded like easy acoustic thing, and I thought, oh, it'll be another instrumentation. But no, it's not. It's just amazing. It's about 55, I think, on my top 100 once again. There's quite a few songs from this album, and it's just amazing. It's supposed to be about the Chinese hobo running away, and it's pretty. And he puts on this really, just no offense, like a retarded kind of voice. And I honestly just I couldn't help you. You must at least chuckle when you hear this. You just can't really take it seriously at first listen, at least. But then you just pick up the rhythm and everything, and this is a really good grooving kind of song. And you sort of hear this kind of anger in his voice eventually. Again, great lyrics. The rails I ride are rusting. The new sunrise I'm trusting. And a 10 out of 10 perfect song. There's so much happening in 2 minutes. The Blimp, if you're a Frank Zappa fan, is something that you should check out, actually. It's called The Blimp or Mousetrap Replica. And what we'll have here apparently was Frank Zappa and the Mothers. Obviously, Frank Zappa helped record this album. And this was supposed to be the instrumentation wise unreleased song that they never got to finish. So they used this in The Blimp. The Blimp has one of the people off the Magic Band using a telephone and having to remember every single lyric on here for the telephone. And I suppose this blimp's supposed to be really bad, and he says it really like it's out like a news reporter with loads of shouting and stuff and sound really scared. It's out there, and it's pretty repetitive. Do 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 do. It goes like that, and
Are you still talking about the blimp? So many people are all accredited to that.
it's it's you'll have to get used to the horn goes off, making it sound like it's an air raid kind of thing, which could be a bit too much for one person, especially the kind of anxiety putting into the vocals. But I still think it's really good once you get your head around it. And like I say, really catchy and about 9.5 out of 10. Steal softly through sunshine, steal softly through snow. Well, it's actually just called Steal Softly Through Snow, but again, it's got a nice little guitar, little ditty here and there, and I really like it once again. It's nothing really to stand out too much. It's something that you'd probably expect from B4 kind of thing. Just loads of different experimentations with different bits and guitar and drums, and interesting lyrics. The black paper between a mirror breaks my heart, and just something that you can get your lyrics sheet out and just read and enjoy, really. About an 8 out of 10. Loads of people love this song and think it's one of the best Beefheart songs he's made, but I honestly just don't think it's that good. Old farted play. Well, when I first looked at it, I thought, right, what is this going to be about? And this is a good contender for the weirdest lyrics with Pina. In fact, no, thinking about it, I might just beat it. It's about I don't know. Is it supposed to be an old fart, like an old person? You know, some people call old people an old fart, or is it actually an old fart? I'm not too sure. But this is actually where Trout Replica's name comes from. One of the lyrics is with the very intricate rainbow trout replica, so that's where it comes from. And he's really speaking this. I know it's spoken word, but literally he is just saying lyrics. And I can't really get my head around the instrumentation as well. It's completely random, and I suppose that's what you get if you're listening to a song called "Old Farted Play." just honestly, just look at the lyrics yourself and just make your own interpretation because it is just completely retarded. Veterans Day Poppy is again a 10 out of 10 song. It's actually really another instrumental actually. It's about 4.5 minutes long, and only the first minute really has any vocals. I suppose it's supposed to be once again because there's quite a lot linked to the wars. There's quite a lot of war mentions, obviously with Dugout Blues and My Human Gets Me Blues, and there's definitely one with Veterans Day Poppy because obviously it's a poppy. Pretty sad lyrics, I suppose. It's supposed to be about the son dying. Says after rain and warm my breath, my life's blood screaming empty. She cries, it don't get me high, it can only make me cry. Your Veterans Day Poppy. And it goes into the simple kind of groove, but in 1.5 minutes, it changes so much. Like it actually does sound it is a different take because like it fades in and fades out, like flops itself to a totally different thing, which is just it honestly feels like you've finished something. It's a perfect thing where you're in your car and the sunset and you just listen to it and it's just a perfect kind of thing. Like you can accomplish something. And I suppose you have if you've listened to this whole album for the first time. You haven't accomplished something there. It's really beautiful. It's just gets in your head, and I just think it's excellent. And one of the best endings ever, especially for an album like this.
So,
Um,
what are your overall thoughts?
Overall thoughts, actually, I forgot. I've missed out two instruments.
Yeah, you missed out Hair Pie
I picked,
2 and something else.
I picked Delhi's car.
Okay, quickly go over them.
Oh, calm down. Hair by Pig 2. If you're looking for hair pie without the annoying trumpets, this is basically it. So actually, it's actually really, really good. It's got bits and bobs here and there that wasn't from the first hair pie, but still, it's much better. It's about an 8.8. And Dolly's Car is just a simple guitar orientated kind of song. It's not my favorite. It's about a 7. Look, is
Okay.
it? Overall, I give the album about a 9.10,
9.10.
9.4 out of 10.
Right.
Honestly, it'll take you a long time to get the album.
Okay, thanks for listening to this review. Join us next time. Check out our other review videos. We've done by the time this is up, there'll be obviously part one of this review. There'll be Doctor Who and comic book chat. So check it all out. Thanks, Eddie, for that great review.
Thank you.